Mr. Greenfield, you're up. Welcome.
I am Laurie Greenfield, an ordained American Baptist minister. In my calling as a minister, I have served as congregational pastor and a campus minister, faculty member and dean and president of divinity schools, a research scholar focusing on religion, ethics, and health, a theologian for an organization relating religion and politics, a denominational executive, and now I serve as Executive Director of the Parliament of the World's Religions, the largest, oldest, most diverse, and inclusive convening interfaith organization in the world. It exists to, quote, cultivate harmony among the world's religious and spiritual communities and foster engagement with the world's guiding institutions in order to achieve a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world. I'm also a husband, a father, a grandfather, and a great-grandfather. So thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of the Parliament, for my own family, and for all the families of our shared earth. The Parliament of the World's Religions has a 25-year record of commitment to care of the earth. Issues related to the environment have been addressed at every convening of the Parliament, including the most recent in 2015, where more than 10,000 people from 80 countries and 20 unique spiritual traditions attended, the majority of whom cited climate change as their primary reason for participating. Why this continuing focus on the Earth's sustainability? Because this is the preeminent challenge of our time, and because every religious and spiritual tradition across the globe, however different they may be in beliefs and teachings and practices, understands that the Earth is a sacred gift to be treasured, honored, and cared for. Climate change, of course, is not the only serious challenge. Nuclear war is a great danger. The leaders of North Korea are putting many nations in peril with their threats and their testing of nuclear weapons and missile delivery systems. A large-scale nuclear war would be devastating in both the short and long term. But the political leaders of the United States are also putting the global community in great peril, near and long term, with their reckless abandonment of the highly effective efforts to reduce climate change. As the clear leader in contributing to climate change, the United States has the greatest responsibility in leading the nations of the world in its reversal. But the nation's leaders are doing exactly the opposite. Step by step, they are increasing the nation's contribution to what puts the whole world in peril. They are threatening my family, yours, every family on the face of the earth. Withdrawing from the peace, but the Paris Climate Accord was an act of international belligerence, an incredible inanity, cloaked in a mistaken claim of national self-interest. A hyper-nationalism which, if followed by other nations, would hasten the devastation of our global environment. Now we face the prospect of the country's national leaders reversing the fuel economy and emission standards for automobiles and light trucks, regulations that have already proven to be one of the most effective ways of reducing the nation's greenhouse gas pollution, the very factor that contributes most to climate degradation. Parliament does not pretend to be a scientific organization, but we do listen to scientists, especially when there is overwhelming consensus on an issue. That certainly applies to climate change. We are persuaded beyond any reasonable doubt that the reality and causes of climate change are now settled science. We are convinced that the evidence of the danger posed by human-caused climate change is irrefutable. But we are even more certain that the religious and spiritual traditions from across the globe call every human being and every political leader to exercise exacting moral responsibility on this issue. We join with people of conscience everywhere across the globe in calling on our leaders in the United States to change both their stance and their policies on issues of climate change, and to join with other peoples and other nations to take action to make the whole earth sustainable. The self-centered arrogance must end. The reckless dismissal of facts must stop. The disregard of the wisdom of the ages and the ethical foundations of our civilizations must cease. Time already and actually is of the essence. This is the time to join the nations and families of our interconnected Earth, to care for the gift of a planet that can give life to all. Now is the time not to diminish and destroy the world. Now is the crucial time to allow it to flourish. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Greenfield.